Okay, so while I'm still in a pretty political state of mind, I just wanted to take a minute and touch on the fact that uh, the House Senate on this past Tuesday evening, passed a resolution apologizing for slavery in the era of Jim Crow. Now, this is a non-binding resolution, and it was introduced by Republican, sorry. It was introduced by a Republican representative by the name of Steve Cohen. He's a white lawmaker, and he represents a black district in Memphis, Tennessee. Well, a majority black district in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, this has happened before. States have apologized for slavery, publicly, but this is really the first time that a branch of the federal government has done it. And so, basically they're saying that passing this resolution, the House is acknowledging the injustice, the cruelty, and the brutality and inhumanity of slavery and Jim Crow. And that is a direct quotation from the CNN website. So, I'm not sure what to think about all this. I appreciate an apology, even though I wasn't around during slavery times, but I do have ancestors that I'm sure were around. Obviously, the effects of slavery and Jim Crow are still impacting us as a people. It's like long after both these systems were gotten rid of, we've suffered enormous damages and loss, both emotional and financial, tangible and not. We've lost human dignity and liberty. There's careers that people can't get now just because they're black. We've lost a lot of opportunity. It was oppression at its finest, and it's hard to come back from something like that. And like I said, while I understand that you're issuing this apology, I'm still kind of frustrated because it's like, okay, well, what are you really going to do about it then? Are you going to clean up these poverty-stricken majority black neighborhoods? Are you going to provide better resources to keep our kids out of the streets, off drugs, in school, and doing something with their lives? I know there's the whole issue of they have parents, blah, blah, blah. Their parents should raise them better, this, that, and the third. But, it's kind of like it takes a village to raise a person. If you're brought up in substandard conditions, then you will ultimately be a product of your environment, and that is a substandard human. You are what your environment is, and that's all there is to it. And so the apology is great, but what are you really going to do about it is my question. This whole resolution that they're passing, it doesn't address the issue of reparations either. And I'm not saying that money fixes everything, but money would be a good start. If not paid directly to certain people, put it out into these poverty-stricken black communities. Put it out into the schools that don't have the resources or the funds to give a proper education to majority black communities. Do something meaningful with it. I can't say that the government should give out reparations because, like I said, there's a whole generation of black people, African Americans, that were not alive during slavery, but at the same time, our families suffered loss, so maybe we are entitled to these reparations. Not only that, but this isn't the first time that lawmakers have apologized to an ethnic group for past injustices. I did a little research, and it was found that this past April, the Senate passed a resolution that apologized to Native Americans for, and I quote, the many instances of violence, maltreatment, and neglect. In 1993, the Senate passed a resolution apologizing for the illegal overthrow of the Kingdom of Hawaii, which occurred in 1893. And in 1988, Congress passed and President Reagan signed an act apologizing to 120,000 Japanese Americans who were held in detention camps during World War II. And the 60,000 detainees who were alive at the time each received $20,000 from the government. So, reparations isn't really like that. It's not reaching, it's been done before, and I don't really see why they can't do it now. As African Americans, they say that we are a minority, but we're becoming so many. There are so many black people having babies, young black women having babies, young black men producing babies. Like, we're quickly becoming a majority, and I don't think that you can necessarily just issue an apology without doing something about it. That's kind of like slapping me in the face. That's kind of like pretty much saying, I'm sorry that you're black. You know, it's like an empty apology with no effort to actually turn the issue around is, I mean, it's not really acceptable to me. So it's kind of like, thanks, but no thanks. So anyway, I guess I just wanted to touch on that. Feel free to leave your comments and say what you think about this resolution that's being put into effect. Do you think that the apology is worth it? Do you think that you should accept the apology without the promise to do something about it? Is an apology really enough? I've stated my opinion, so now it's time to state yours.